You can always find out about all the shows coming to town. We have a soundboard at 99x.com. Tonight, full band show, David Ryan Harris at Smith's Old Bar. That'll be really cool. Don't forget the B-52s. That's a Saturday night, December 14th. The Classic Center Arena. They're actually opening that up. Suki Waterhouse. That's going to be a great show, December the 21st at the Eastern. And how about a little comedy? Chelsea Handler, December 29th, Cobb Energy Performing Arts Center. Check out the soundboard at 99x.com.
All right, here we go. Once upon a time. This is when we go into the storybooks of all of the DJs here at 99X and talk about all the different things that, we come across some fun, random things that just an everyday concert goer or music lover might not come across.
Today, you are the subject.
Today, it's my turn to do Once Upon a Time. If you missed Leslie's last one, it's really cool. Go back to the podcast. She had a behind the music done about her by the real guy who does behind the music. What was that, a gift?
I was being roasted, a TJ Martell roast.
Got it. Okay, so let's go back to the late 90s. And this is height of V1 Morning X craziness. The Braves were on fire. Everything was great.
Yes.
Just humping along. So I get this call. I'm hanging out. This is when I lived in Buckhead over closer to the station. And I get this call from a friend of mine who I've been friends with since the 80s who's in a band. And he had just wrapped up a show in Cleveland with his band and was about to do the trek 2 days to drive down on the bus to Atlanta to play Sold Out at Lakewood. Okay?
Wow. Yes.
So we're on the phone. We would talk every, couple of weeks, just what's going on, blah, 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 blah. And he has a British accent. And so I couldn't understand a lot of the things he said, which is part of the story. So he's like, yeah, this sucks. We have to drive all the way down there, whatever. I said, let me call my people at AirTran. Rest in peace.
You always do nice things for people.
Hey, Tad. And I called them up and said, hey, are there openings on the flight? Because AirTran flew from Cleveland to Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And they're like, yeah, of course. I said, okay, stand by. So I called them back and I said, I can get you guys on. He's like, okay, tell you what, you fly us all down, the band. We'll come. How about we do a concert in your basement?
And it was their idea.
Their idea. And because he knows I'm a huge fan and he knows I would love it. And so I with his British accent, I had to say, wait, say that again? So I'm going to fly you down and you're going to do a show. Can I invite anyone that I want? And he said, yeah. I mean, as much as your basement will fill.
Now you're making it a party for your friends.
Right. So this is coming up like in a couple of days. And so I get to work and the band is my favorite band of all time.
I know you love them.
The Outfield. Josie's on a vac. Yeah. So I start inviting, this Jimmy, I think came. You were out of town or something.
Yeah, I was kind of bummed I was not here.
You weren't there. So the way in my old basement, I had double walls built because I had a full stage set up in my basement. So I had it all.
You were playing drums.
Right. It's called backlining. So I had drums, amps, like the whole thing, and there was a bar down there. It felt like you were at like the Dark Horse. Like it was. So I didn't want to over jam it. So we invited about 25 people. They get their sound check, doing the whole thing. And I have some audio I'll play from a horrible camera. I mean, think about how bad.
Did you end up playing drums with them?
I did for like a half hour. And that's part of this. I was very drunk. I will tell you that. And I mean,
that was Barnes Stoley era.
That was maybe, or the Grey Goose era. So we invite everyone, and they're going to start the show at 9. So everyone's like, they sound checked. And I mean, it was surreal. Think about your favorite band being in your house. And I've had other bands over the years play there that you don't know about.
It is surreal.
I'll save that for other stories. So they warm up. And then one of our guests, her husband, was late. And so the problem was, and all the TVs were on in my basement, and he was on the TV. It was Tom Glavine. So Glavine is pitching, and in between innings, he is calling and saying, I think I'm going to get out in the next inning. I'll be there, hold tight. So we held the show.
Well, that's even more surreal.
For Tom Glavine. And then Glavine gets done, gets in his car, races over. So we end up starting like 10:30, 10:40. Here is a piece of it. I mean, imagine putting yourself in that situation with your favorite band playing at your house. And then they're like,
who's your friend in the band?
Well, John Spinks, rest in peace, who passed away, and Tony Lewis, the singer. And the drummer was Simon Dawson at the time. And I have a tidbit on him in a second. So here's a little bit of the clip. Now, remember, this is horrible taping because those camcorders back in the day, this is a wall of sound trying to be fed into like one of those horrible microphones.
Didn't have your iPhone?
No. I mean, that would have sounded really good. So here's some pieces of it. Here's the beginning. And listen how everyone there, and there's 25 people, start singing. It feels like it's like at somewhere bigger, but here's the beginning of their big song. There was the intro, and it sounded amazing, but of course that doesn't because of the recording.
Sound like we're at Smith's Old Bar.
It was unbelievable and gave me chills. Everyone like singing on cue. I mean, that was just insane. Here's another little piece of it. Now, remind you, I had probably 7 or 8 drinks by this point. So I was
it's
like,
your party. You're excited. I understand.
I was like the Lars Metallica meme. I was overplaying the song big time. I'm not sure what this clip is. Here's a little bit more of it. I love that the crowd's still singing.
And wasn't that their biggest hit, Your Love? I think
yeah.
Maybe?
Has to be.
Yeah, that was a great song.
All that going into this one little microphone. I wish you could have heard the room. But there was no rehearsing, like literally all that. That's driven completely by vodka.
How long did that go on, the concert?
They played for like 2 hours.
What?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say, they did 5 songs, and that was it.
Here's the ending. And the song usually fades away, like the real song. And this one, I'm looking at them, and they're just keeping going. So I'm just beating the crap.
This is the extended version.
And then listen to me walk up to the mic at the end and have a little salutation for everybody.
Everybody drink up. The outfield.
Listen how drunk I sound. Everybody drink up. The outfield. So anyway. And then,
you were wasted.
So that was the end of the show. And then they all stayed there. So I tucked everybody in. Everybody got tucked into bed.
Everybody camped out. You had sleeping bags.
Literally. And then, because their techs were there with them. And then the next day they woke up and they went and played Lakewood. Sold out. I even made concert t-shirts. I made like 20 limited edition shirts that was live at the Man Pit.
That was a great band, and it's very sad about John Spinks passing and the band disbanding.
Sad, and John died also recently. But here's the crazy part. The drummer, who's a buddy of mine, now announced this week, full circle, he's the new drummer for Iron Maiden.
Are you kidding me?
Simon Dawson.
Outfield?
Yes.
Who is it? Simon what?
Simon Dawson,
he
session
went from
drummer.
Outfield to...
He was other bands as well, but at that point he was in the outfield and he recorded I think 3 albums with them, and now he's with Iron Maiden.
That's insane.
So yeah, man, for me, I mean that's my other band.
That's a great story.
I mean, come on.
What
anyway.
a moment in time.
Once upon a time. Let's play the real one that wasn't recorded on a camcorder.
Yeah.
This is the outfield, and this is 99X.